We're live.
We're live. Hello, YouTube.
Hi, YouTubers. We're trying to deal with some potential technical difficulties, maybe. Not really.
We're preemptively taking care of them.
Yes.
Write nasty YouTube comments.
Yeah. Hate us. All right, I just sent that to you.
Perfect.
Hopefully it works.
Oh, I'm going to turn that notification thing off.
Are you sure?
Probably should.
It's so much more fun, though. Oh, excuse me. Jesus. So sorry, everybody. I'm fucking burping into your ears.
You deserve it if you're on the stream this early.
I know. You're asking us about when the stream is happening, and we just weren't there yet. So now you get to hear us burp. Listen.
Oh, Katie's on it. She already responded to the guy.
Damn.
That's awesome.
Did we hire Katie yet?
We should.
I know we should.
She just aced the interview. Just now.
I know. she just smashed the practical.
I'm gonna put the link up on a post though, real quick, and then we can get started.
Yes. Thanks for tuning in, though.
Yeah, thank you so much. We promise we'll start talking soon. Publish, paste.
I mean, technically, we're talking.
Yeah, we just keep talking.
I'll put my book away.
Yeah, we don't need the books.
Nope, no books, not for this one. This one, for all of you tuning in before we start the recording, we're doing this is our snub show. So not that we're not gonna snub anybody, but we are gonna talk about some notable snubs from the Rolling Stone list that we're going through as part of the regularly scheduled information on the podcast.
Yes.
And it sucks.
As you per usual.
Per usual.
God. Okay. I think we're good.
All right.
Should we get it going?
Let's do this.
This list sucks. This list sucks. This list sucks. This list sucks. It sucks.
Still sucks.
Still sucking.
Welcome back to tonight's second episode.
I know. Take two.
Yeah. This is our first time doing 2 episodes. We're on a fucking roll.
We're crushing.
Yeah.
And we're gonna. This one is gonna be super bonusy relative to the last one, because the last one we actually had a list that we were working through. This time we don't really have a list, but so just, for anybody that doesn't know, we're going through the 500 greatest albums of all time according to Rolling Stone. We're doing the 2020 edition,
brand new list,
hot off the shitty presses, and we're through the first 50, so we're 10% in, and it was brought up to us by a couple of different listeners, because we have questioned ourselves, why do some of these albums that we've already run into in the top 50,
why are they on
why
here?
are they here when there could be other albums that
and we just found ourselves wondering about like albums that we love, and are they on here? They must be on here.
They have
and
to
some
be.
of them aren't.
There's a lot of them,
which is a good reason why this list sucks.
Indeed.
Which is the whole principle of what we're doing here.
Yeah. And so we've been promising for a long time about doing one of these bonus episodes where we just talk about the known. We're gonna refer to this as our first known snubs.
Yes.
Bonus
snubs
episode.
PT1.
Yeah. So I'm sure that as we get deeper into this, either more people will come out with snubs, or maybe, we'll be made more aware of them. And so we might do another one of these if we get more material that we know of down the line. But
yeah, I'm assuming we'll probably do a part 2, maybe halfway through. And then I guarantee that we'll do like a master snub list that happens after we finish the list.
Yeah.
And we'll be like, now that we finished the list, here are the ones that not only other people noted, but the ones that we expected to see and we didn't see.
Yeah. So it'll be a little bit of Yeah, just a self-created snub list, if you will.
Mhm.
So with that being said, we've got a couple of different resources that that we're going to use just to go over these tonight. So friend of the show, friend of ours, Lee Stamper
Of onlylee.com.
of all.
Yeah. Or I think he's also on onlyfans.com/Lee Stamper.
Onlyfans.com/Lee Stamper.
First sponsor.
I can't I can't believe that I almost forgot about his fledgling business.
Yeah.
And I wasn't
throw
able
him a
to give
couple bucks.
props. Yeah. Hook him up. Check him out. Literally check him out.
He'll show you everything. All right.
Okay. So with that being said, friend of the show, Lee Stamper, he sent us a list from Reddit. And it's a doozy. So we'll go through this Reddit list tonight. And then in addition to the Reddit list, there's also I found an article specific to country music and talking about what has happened with country music in this list that brings up some more notable snubs. So,
and then also I found an article that for some reason is pertaining to Wisconsin albums in particular, but there are some notable albums on that list as well that have been left off the master list, and we'll talk about that first. But first, the Reddit thread, because these are the big glaring ones that we just can't fucking believe were not put on this list.
It's insane.
Yeah.
Which one sticks out to you?
Which one sticks out the most to me?
Yeah.
I'd probably say "In the Court of the Crimson King" by King Crimson.
Yes. So just to be super clear, everybody, "In the Court of the Crimson King" by King Crimson, which I would argue is probably the most influential progressive rock album ever recorded.
Yeah, they're pioneers of the genre.
Absolutely.
And that's probably their most popular record, I would say.
I would say so. It's at least, listen, it's at least the record that when you read interviews from more contemporary artists, especially those that have any type of prog rock feel or influence to them, they almost always reference "In the Court of the Crimson King."
Definitely. It makes me wonder, like, is there another King Crimson record on this list? I can't think of what would be on there. Maybe Lark Tongues and Aspic, but
maybe.
I don't know.
I don't know either, but that's hugely glaring to me. I'm with you. For me, on this Reddit list, it's every Tool album.
Yeah. Not a single Tool album on this list. And Mike's a big Tool fan. And earlier this year, he actually kind of got him and another couple buddies of ours got me into Tool. So now I'm right there with them because I've pretty much dove into the catalog. I didn't really get all the way through it. I didn't listen to the new one yet.
That's okay.
But I fell in love with Enema.
Yeah.
And the live one, the Opiate, that's awesome. Love that one. But really, really, particularly Enema, I like that a lot. So I was surprised that Enema's not on there.
I think that if you're going to make an argument that that Tool only gets one album, I'm okay with that one album being Enema, but I could also see people being upset that Lateralis doesn't appear on this record.
Was that the follow-up to Enema?
It was.
Okay. Undertow and then Opiate.
No.
Opiate
was the first release.
And then
Undertow was released within, I want to say, like a year or two.
But Opiate was live. Undertow is a studio record, right?
Opiate's a combination. So Opiate technically has 4 studio recorded tracks and then 2 tracks that were recorded at the whatever the fuck at the Loft.
So it's kind of an EP with a couple live bonus tracks.
Correct.
Yeah.
But Undertow was their first full-length studio LP. 5 years after that was Enema. 5 years after that was Lateralis. 5 years after that was 10,000 Days. And then only 14 fucking years later, you get what the hell's the name of the new one?
Oh shit. The
new one.
Yeah, the new one.
We'll call it.
He got really busy making wine, by what it was.
Well, listen, there's a whole bunch to say, but if you're unfamiliar with Tool, you need to familiarize yourself. And the crazy thing is that multiple albums of theirs debuted at #1. So this isn't a thing where it's
not like a fanboy thing.
No, this isn't a deal where nobody knows Tool.
Yeah.
And
it's not like you're just upset because your favorite band is not on the list.
No.
Not that Tool's your favorite band, but
Tool's they were my favorite band for a very long time. Yeah.
But
and they still hold a very special
based
place
on
in my
just
heart.
simply based on numbers, like they should probably be on there, you know.
Listen, just album sales, just layman popularity.
Yeah.
Right. Layperson popularity. It's baffling to me that you're not putting any Tool on there.
And so moving on from Tool, if you're okay with that.
Yeah.
We know for a fact that Nirvana Nevermind is super high on the list. We have like a bet because Mike is pretty sure it's in the top 10, and I bet that it wasn't kicking myself in the ass for that because I'm pretty sure it's in there. But anyways, that's off topic. With Nirvana being that high, there's no Alice in Chains on this entire list,
which is criminal.
Yeah.
I mean, fucking criminal.
Lane Staley deserves a spot on this list.
Amen. Rest in peace, Lane Staley. Listen, if you compare, take your pick of Nirvana albums, and Nevermind is not my favorite. I prefer In Utero to Nevermind. And even In Utero, which to me is the best that you're going to get from Nirvana, it doesn't even come close to what Alice in Chains does on Dirt.
Really?
It
You
doesn't
prefer Alice in Chains to Nirvana?
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
The vocal harmonies.
I get you. Yeah.
The vocal harmonies between Lane Staley and Jerry Cantrell are fucking magic. And if you don't believe that, and if you listen to Dirt and you think, oh, well, this is just more grunge that was ripping off Nirvana sound, fine. Don't listen to Dirt, listen to Jar of Flies. Because that album is...
Yeah.
It smashes. It smashes. And it goes so far beyond what Nirvana was doing with any of their material.
Yeah, I mean, in Nirvana, different formula, I guess. But I hear what you're saying. Yeah, the little more simplistic. They kind of took things a little further in Alice in Chains.
But another entry, moving on, as long as you're okay with this.
Absolutely.
There is not a single Flaming Lips album on this list.
Dude, honestly, and this might be a surprise, I don't even know any Flaming Lips. Never listened to really Flaming Lips at all. Yeah. I think I told... For those
unable to watch this live stream, I tried to make my jaw...
Mike looks dumbfounded.
Yeah. So, wait, are you really?
I can't even name one Flaming Lips song. I'm sure that there are a couple that if I heard them, I would know, but not by name. I can't name one. Sorry.
Wow.
Don't get mad.
No. I'm not. No, I'm not mad. I'm actually the exact opposite. I'm actually super excited for you because
it's gonna be fun to delve into.
Well, so the Flaming Lips have a super, super deep catalog, and so much of it is just so bizarrely eccentric and weird, and just
I think that's part of it.
Wild.
Is like I didn't really know it's pretty large, and it's
too
like,
big.
And that's the thing with these bands that have these big catalogs. You don't really know where to start, and you assume that some of it's not good. And maybe that's
a lot of
my
it's not
fault. But like when I see a band, like because a lot of my favorite bands have huge catalogs.
That's what I was gonna say.
Like The Dead has a huge catalog, and you could listen to some of that studio stuff and be like, "What the fuck is this?"
Yeah,
St. Frank Zappa has a massive fucking catalog, and if you don't start in the right place, you're gonna get lost.
Yeah, it's not gonna be right. It's not gonna be right.
And it's like you need to hear some of this stuff first before you can listen to this stuff. And when I see a catalog like the Flaming Lips, I'm like, I don't know where to start. I mean, I could have Googled it, so I'm not making excuses.
No,
I just
that's okay.
Got into them.
And that totally forgivable. But at the same time, I'll tell you this right now. Listen to Yoshimi Battles the Pink Robots. It's a concept album, and it's a masterwork. I mean, it's literally a masterpiece. It's really, really amazing.
Yeah.
One of my favorite songs of all time, Do You Realize, is on that album.
Maybe I would know. Like I said, I bet I would know a couple songs.
Maybe.
I think they did a show actually like this year where they the Bubbles thing.
Yes.
I don't know. Was that real or was that like?
No, that was real.
That was real.
Yeah,
because of COVID, they did a show where the audience members were all in their own bubbles and stuff.
Up to 3 people per bubble. And that's a thing because Wayne Coyne started doing this a long time ago, where Wayne Coyne would literally blow up this giant inflatable ball, climb inside of it, and then roll around on top of the ground.
Audience.
And he still does it. And it's fucking more fun than what you should ever have.
Yeah.
Yeah. Saw him. They were just at Waterworks Park.
Yeah, we were there.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. We did this whole meet and greet VIP thing. Got to take a picture with him.
Super cool.
Super nice. And that dude was like the nicest person to my 9-year-old daughter. Wayne Coyne is a fucking stud of a man. And he walks around all the time at venues. He's the craziest looking dude ever. But you can say hi to him, and he's the nicest fucking guy. He will stop. He will say hi to you. He's
How crazy looking is he?
fucking crazy looking.
So he's the kind of guy that like you wouldn't stop and say hi to him if he wasn't in the band. You'd be
No,
like, oh,
you-
let's avoid that fucking
Yes,
guy.
exactly. You'd be like, who the fuck is that? But then once you know who he is, then you just want to like go and hug him and say
He's
hi.
either a homeless tweaker or he's in the band or he's the reason we're here. One of the two.
Yeah, a little bit. One of those two things.
Okay. Anyways.
Yeah. So no flaming lips. That's criminal.
No Flaming Lips.
Super sad.
No Queens of the Stone Age. That's another band with a huge catalog.
Deep catalog.
I've listened to them somewhat. And I dig them. And I feel like they probably should have at least one on here. You know, it seems a little crazy.
Maybe.
You don't think so? You're not on that page?
Listen, I respect the Queens of the Stone Age, and I definitely could see an album of theirs popping up on here, but it's also not a band that I'm not super attached to Queens of the Stone Age.
Yeah, it's always came across as a little generic to me. Some of those guys like lacking a certain something. You know, it's like they put out a lot of music. They're super prolific, and it seems like some artists do that, and it's all fucking great. But some people, it's like, at what point are they kind of boilerplating it a little bit? You know,
And that's my rub with Queens of the Stone Age too. There's just not enough differentiation with what they're doing to keep me really, really interested.
I hear you.
And that's where I would tell anybody that if you feel the same way, well, I can't see how you would feel that way about Tool, but if you listen to every Tool album, you can hear growth and progression in what the band is doing. Like they're taking,
for sure.
They're pushing what they're trying to do even farther,
Even between like Opiate and Enema, which are
Yes.
like some of their early shit, you know?
Yeah.
Like big time growth.
But I and that's what I feel like is probably missing for me with Queens of the Stone Age. But I would be open to having at least something of theirs represented in the list. Probably deeper for me, but I would be okay with it.
Speaking of like the kind of generic-ish kind of stuff, Moody Blues. There's no Moody Blues on the album, and to me, that's kind of always been how I felt about Moody Blues. I like them, but it's like it's just lacking a certain spark. It seems like what you would picture when you just think like if there was like a 60s band, like a 60s like psychedelic rock band that was like being made for like a movie. Like that would be Moody Blues.
Yeah.
You know,
A Scorsese film. I feel like every
so it's
Scorsese
well
film should have at least one Moody Blues.
Yeah.
At least one Moody Blues record. Another entry on this list, and for me, listen, it's listed as every Elliott Smith album, and I love and appreciate Elliott Smith, but for me, I don't know that it's criminal that every Elliott Smith album is missing, but his self-titled album not being on this list is a little bit surprising to me.
Yeah.
Are you familiar?
No, I'm not.
Have you ever heard his self-titled album from 1995?
I think I've heard a little bit of it, but like
Needle in the Hay?
That's the name of the album.
No, that's the name of the
That's the
song
name of
that
the
you
song.
probably heard.
I guarantee I've heard it, and I've heard of Elliott Smith, but like it's never really like struck a super strong chord with me. So
Needle in the Hay. It's funny because I was listening to Fish Radio, and Trey talks about they'll play Needle in the Hay on Fish Radio, and Trey does the introduction where he talks about just I don't even know how to describe it. It's really it's just hauntingly beautiful. And it's a really catchy tune, and they've used it in multiple movies. It's appeared on movie soundtracks, and I'm sure that you've heard it.
I guarantee it.
Yeah.
I'll listen to it though,
Yeah.
just to confirm.
Absolutely. We're down to only a couple more off
On this list, on the Reddit list.
off of the Reddit list, and so let's go with more individual albums. So the album Animals by Pink Floyd.
Pretty surprising. I mean,
I'm shocked, really,
because it's hard to like justify, and I've said this about the Beatles, like we haven't hit a Beatles record yet, but it would seem crazy to me if every single Beatles record was not on this list. Like there probably should be everything they ever. And Mike made a couple comments before about like couple of the really early records. He can understand them not being on there, and I get that too. But most of them are probably on there, and if they're not, that's a problem. But I would feel almost the same about Pink Floyd. Like most of their, or especially most of those like records from back in the day, should probably be on the list. And I guarantee Dark Side's like top 50.
You have to hit the big ones, right? The Wall is going to be on here.
Yeah.
Wish You Were Here is going to be on here. Dark Side is.
Do you think
Dark
Dark Side's the highest Floyd record on the list? I bet it is.
Do you think it's higher than The Wall?
I think so.
I think it is too, probably just because of length. But on a personal level, I mean, listen, on a personal level, this snub is the most meaningful to me because either Wish You Were Here or Animals are my favorite Pink Floyd albums.
So I'm sure Wish You Were Here is on the list.
Yes.
Animals, I think the reason it's not on there is just because it's kind of weird and like it's got like a 25-minute song on there and stuff.
Well, there's only 5 fucking songs on the whole goddamn album.
Exactly. But
and it's like a 45-50-minute album.
So that's I'm trying to justify it, but really it doesn't need justified because Rolling Stone made a shitty list.
Yeah, you fucked up.
Believe it or not.
You fucked up on this one. And you also fucked up on the next one. The next one is forgivable. It's just not forgivable for me, and that's Hot Rats.
Yeah, I don't even know if it's forgivable. I love that album. And that, I mean, so the fact that it's singled out means there's probably other Zappa records on this list. And I bet Apostrophe's on there. And I bet Joe's Garage is on there.
I don't think Joe's Garage is on there.
I'm going to be pissed if it's not on there.
I think Apostrophe makes it. And actually, if you told me that Apostrophe was the only Zappa album on this list, I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh, man. I'm gonna think this list sucks even more if Joe's Garage. Joe's Garage is one of my top 5 favorite albums of all time. Personally,
it's a fucking gem, dude. It's really good. But Hot Rats is a masterwork. JB and I were talking about this earlier. I discovered 2 days ago. I found The Great Wazoo from the Mothers of Invention.
Grand Wazoo.
Grand Wazoo. Yeah. I found that on vinyl and masterwork, and it's basically an extension of what he started doing on Hot Rats, which is just kind of weird experimental jazz fusion.
It's like a thematic trilogy is kind of like what you were saying, right?
Yeah. Between Hot Rats,
God, I'm forgetting the second one.
It's like Kawa Yamaka is the name of the second one, and then the last one is The Grand Wazoo. And listen, if you're into jazz or like experimental jazz is what I would probably call it.
Like fusion, right?
Yeah, you've got to, if you've never done it, and this was relatively new for me too. Like I didn't discover Hot Rats until Peaches and Regalia by the Fish, because Fish covers Peaches and Regalia, which is a song off of Hot Rats.
And there's some really good tunes on Hot Rats though. Like isn't Son of Mr. Green Jeans? Isn't that on Hot Rats? And isn't Willie the Pimp?
Willie the Pimp
is that on Hot Rats?
Yes, Willie the Pimp is on Hot Rats too. Listen,
that features Captain Beefheart.
It's a fucking jam, dude.
Yeah.
It's a really hot record. And I would, some people are weirded out by like how raunchy Frank Zappa can get on a lot of his records. And I mean, it's really raunchy shit. But Hot Rats is basically all instrumental. And it's masterwork.
Except for a couple tunes like Willie the Pimp.
Willie the Pimp
that might even be the only one.
I think it is.
Yeah. Son of Mr. Green Jeans is very much like Peaches and Regalia, which they're both fusion. I mean, they're jazz, but jazz is probably the technically right word for it. Yeah. But it's a little more accessible than that. I think it's like very catchy melodies that he has in there,
This is where any conversation about Frank Zappa, you have to talk about So I just got done watching this fucking documentary. So I'm balls deep in Zappa at this point in time in my life. But I'm only going to refer to Frank Zappa as a composer from this point forward.
That's what he is.
I'm not going to call him a rock star. I'm not going to call him anything but a composer. And Hot Rats is
that's how you'd want it.
It's a great introduction. If you only know about Frank Zappa as like a Joe's Garage or a Chic Your Booty type of rock star, you got to listen to Hot Rats because dude was a really, really brilliant composer.
Yeah, just a fucking genius.
Yeah. And then the last one from this list is also very near and dear to my heart, and that is the fact that there is not a single My Morning Jacket album that appears on this list.
I would think Z should be on the list, in my opinion. That's probably my favorite one.
I love Z. Listen, Z should be on this list, but my favorite My Morning Jacket album is It Still Moves. from 2004.
Okay, you know what? I'm actually gonna pull it up right now, because I gotta figure out the track listing.
Yeah.
As far as what's on, because My Morning Jacket is a band that, I've listened to like a lot of their live stuff. So like I've listened to most of their studio records, but they do such a good job live that I just want to listen to their live stuff a lot of times.
Yeah.
So It Still Moves. Yeah, that has like Magida and Golden and One Big Holiday. Fantastic. Those are my favorites probably on that one.
Steam Engine, dude.
Steam Engine.
Steam
yeah.
Engine is so good. And
I will sing you songs.
I Will Sing You Songs is just astoundingly beautiful. I own almost every My Morning Jacket album on vinyl too.
Do you have Z?
Yeah.
Nice.
I have Z, I have Circuital, I have The Waterfall, I have The Waterfall 2, I have It Still Moves.
Z is my favorite. I love most of pretty much everyone. I love Don Dante.
Don Dante is magic, dude.
I love It Beats for You.
Yes.
I love Gideon. Gideon's maybe one of my favorite.
So good.
It's just like fucking rock band, dude. That's
Yeah.
just there's nothing else to it. There's just raw rock and roll emotion in that tune.
But if you go
Off the record,
if you go back to It Still Moves, you get this almost like an alt country type feel to My Morning Jacket too.
Wilco, My Morning Jacket.
Yes, Wilco. Yeah, it's really, to me, it's My Morning Jacket has created their own genre in some ways, the way that they've blended all of these different musical genres together, and they do it in a way that they don't sound like anybody else.
Yeah.
And to me, that uniqueness is a hallmark of bands. Like every band on this list, in some way, shape, or form, should be providing their own unique contribution to the world of music.
Yeah. We didn't mention Fleet Foxes, but there's no Fleet Foxes on here either.
Yeah, which not forgivable, because I think that Fleet Foxes is really, really good. And again, Robin Pecknold, super talented.
What's the song? Mykonos? Is that how you know that one? You will go to Mykonos.
Yes.
That song is so fucking popular. That album, whatever album that's on, that should probably be on here.
I think it's on Helplessness Blues.
That should probably be on there. But
I mean,
but I don't feel as strongly about Fleet Foxes as I do about a lot of the other ones. The ones I feel really strongly about are My Morning Jacket, Alice in Chains, Tool, and Zappa, and King Crimson. The other ones, I'm like, wow, that's not on there, but I'm not like super pissed about it. Like,
you will feel that way about Flaming Lips.
Yeah, I knew you're gonna say that. Yep.
You will feel
and the only
that
reason
way.
I didn't say that is because I haven't listened to them. So
yeah,
it would be stupid for me to say that.
But I'll get you turned on the right way.
Should we get into the country stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. So just a couple more sources here. So country music is another area where the list really shrunk a lot from the first list in 2003 up until every revision. Country music has just been whittled away a little bit more and a little bit more. So this article that I found, I was most interested in the more modern guys, right? The Tyler Childers, the Sturgills, the Chris Stapletons, and now Jason Isbell, right? Because I would kind of lump Jason Isbell in with all those guys. But according to this article on the website savingcountrymusic.com, so they're not biased at all.
Yeah.
And they're not pissed at all.
No, yeah.
But it says, as far as any titles from the independent country and roots realm, the only one you can point to would be Jason Isbell's Southeastern, which came in at 458.
So there's no Sturgill at all then.
Yeah. It says, with the way Sturgill Simpson's meta-modern sounds in country music and Purgatory from Tyler Childers have shaken the music world beyond country, you were hoping for some interest in them perhaps, or Adobe Sessions from Cody Jinks, or Diamonds and Gasoline from Turnpike Troubadours. Though granted, these titles are much more obscure, none of them appear anywhere. And meta-modern sounds in country music from Sturgill
So I
crazy.
feel it's insane.
It's crazy.
And I feel like I knew that those guys weren't on there, but I assume there's some Stapleton on here, right? Is there
Well, and so that's what I was going to say, right? This article never makes any mention of Chris Stapleton, which means that the Traveler has to be on this list.
I'm sure it's on there. It would be crazy for it.
If it's not, again, you're talking, that's criminal at this point.
I'm an Isbell fanboy, big time. But how can you have Southeastern on there and not the Traveler? You know what I mean?
Yes. I agree with you. Now, the article goes on to talk about out of 500 selections, they say that there's only 15 out of the 500 that you could label as country music.
Wow.
Which is kind of wild if you think about how important country music is. Just,
think about like the percentage of overall music that is country. It's a lot more than whatever the percentage 15 of 500 is,
3%.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Just do that in your head.
No. The article did the math for me. I'm pretty good with numbers. I'm not that good. And then it actually goes on to say that if you factor in albums from the greater roots world. So in other words, if you throw in John Prine, Lucinda Williams, and Jason Isbell, then you still only get 6% out of the 500 would be like an expanded selection of country / roots.
Yeah.
Folk music, whatever you want to call it.
Agreed.
Definitely not folk, right? Because
out.
folk, you're getting Bob Dylan, you're getting all the rest of the shit. But
yeah.
So
and actually, now that I think about it, that's not that hard of a calculation to make because you just take 15 divided by 5. Sorry to go back to that.
No, that's all right. That's all right. So needless to say, country has been largely removed from this list, especially from the very first one, and especially new, younger country artists that have gotten people like me. I don't like country music. I fucking love Sturgill Simpson, though.
Does it say anything about the percentage of the 2003 list?
No,
that was country.
It doesn't reference
I'd
that.
be interested to see like how much it went down.
Now, what it does do is it does go through and it talks about all the albums that either lost position or gained position over the years.
Can you mention some of the notable ones that were lost?
Yes, lost completely. Okay, so albums that were completely removed from the list. Willie Nelson's album Stardust.
Come on.
Went from number 260 to gone.
That's an insane jump.
Johnny Cash, the American recordings, which are all the covers that he did with Rick Rubin, where he covered Hurt, where he covered Rusty Cage and all that stuff. It was number 366, gone completely from the list. Graham Parsons, Grievous Angel, was at 425, gone from the list. I'm not sad about that. Fuck Graham Parsons.
Whatever.
Steve Earle, Guitar Town, was at 482, gone from the list completely.
Wait, Graham Parsons from Flying Burrito Brothers?
Yeah, Flying Burrito Brothers, yeah. Willie Nelson's Redheaded Stranger was at 183. It's now down to 237.
At least it's still on there.
Yeah, Hank Williams, 40 Greatest Hits, went from 94 down to 132. Ray Charles, Modern Sounds Country Music. Wait, you're gonna fucking give us the modern sounds, but not the meta modern sounds?
Not the meta.
Go fuck yourself. That one went from 15 to 127.
That's an insane jump.
No, that's an insane fall.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Up, down.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I can't believe that. That is a good record. That'll be a fun one to get into.
Johnny Cash at Folsom Prison went from 88 to 164. I fucking love at Folsom Prison.
So I was about to ask after you said the initial Cash, like there's got to be Cash on there still. So obviously they have that.
Yeah. Now, fascinatingly enough, they call Working Man's Dead country music.
Spoiler alert, there's some dead on there.
Working Man's Dead went from 264 down to fucking 409.
Fuck you, Rolling Stone.
Fuck off, dickheads. And then they have some like the Roots albums, artists that they're calling Roots albums. Richard and Linda Thompson, they consider a Roots album.
Yeah, I get behind that.
Yeah, so I'm totally okay with Shoot Out the Lights, which was ranked at 332, fucking gone completely. But I want to see the Bright Lights Tonight, which is what the album that we've already heard and talked about was 471, and then it went to 485, and I wanted to kick that motherfucker off the list entirely.
It's funny because I would call that Americana.
Yeah.
Except for the fact that it was not Americans.
But so keep in mind what they're also calling Roots. They're calling the band Roots albums.
Big time.
And they're calling the Allman Brothers Roots, which I don't know why you would fucking do that.
They're not breaking it down to Southern rock, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Or a jam band. Like the Allman Brothers were a jam band.
Big time.
I mean, yeah, they were from the South, so they.
I wonder how much
sounded
Allman
different.
Brothers are on the big list. I wonder if
well, you want
Fillmore
a spoiler?
East is on there.
That's the album that they reference actually.
Yeah.
And Fillmore East went from being number 49 down to 105.
Still pretty high.
Yeah, but I fucking love that record.
No, I have that one
it's
on vinyl already.
Yeah,
I won't
so do
even
I.
need to buy it on vinyl.
Yeah, so do I. And I'm super excited about getting to it because I love that fucking record.
Yeah.
Period.
Great record.
Yeah.
How long is that fucking whipping post? Like 11 minutes or something?
No. How about 1928?
Is it really? Holy shit.
Dude, it's a fucking jam. And they go to wild places on that whipping post.
So good.
Yeah. I'm excited about that. Super excited about
Definitely.
that. So that's
and then just quickly referencing before we wrap it up here, the Wisconsin list.
Yeah.
It's basically like a radio station in Milwaukee put this list together, and they said that there were some notable, and again, they're not partial at all, but there were some notable Wisconsin based artists that were left off. The only one that was on there, and I'm pissed about this because of the ones that were left off. But the only Wisconsin record that's on there is For Emma Forever Go by fucking Bon Iver.
Thanks, Rolling Stone.
You all know how I felt about that one. Yeah.
Fuck that. Goddamn Bon Iver.
But anyways, the ones that were left off was Garbage's self-titled album. Super surprising on that. Yeah. Again with the Nirvana, I mean, they praise Nirvana and they're gonna leave Garbage off.
Well, and listen, I hope I don't see a fucking whole album.
Fuck that. There better not be. Yeah.
I mean, listen, I got a ton more respect for Shirley Manson than what I do for Courtney Love, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean,
fucking murderous.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, basically.
We're gonna get into top 10 conspiracy theories on this podcast sometime soon.
And that's gonna be fun.
Yeah. And then the debut album of the Violent Femmes,
which is wild.
Yeah, super crazy. Another Wisconsin-based band that was not on there. So
nobody wants.
Those were the only two that I feel like mentioning from that one. But yeah, so the point of this episode is there's some serious fucking snubs on the list.
So as we work through the next 450 albums, now we'll talk more freely about, how the fuck can this album not be on the list
when there's no Tool albums on the list.
And maybe what we'll do is maybe we'll line up one of these bonus episodes where we just pick a couple of these really, really most notable snubs. Like maybe we'll take a Flaming Lips album and a Tool album and a My Morning Jacket album and just kind of run through some of them, right? If nothing else, just pick out some highlights for
we'll
folks.
Make our own list.
Yeah, exactly.
And it won't suck.
Yeah. But speaking about lists, it sucks.
Yes. Next week,
we're coming back. We're going back to the 500. We got to get through. These next 50 because after we get through these next 50, we're fucking champagneing it.
Yes.
We got a bottle of champagne waiting for us.
That's another thing. We haven't talked about that yet on the podcast, but we're doing every 100 episodes.
We're fucking popping it.
We're doing champagne.
We're popping it.
Increasing quality. We're gonna go with a shitty bottle for the beginning. And
it's gonna be we're gonna have to find something just bad.
Yeah.
Like sparkling Mad Dog.
We'll buy it at like Quick Trip or something. Yeah. And then culminating in Crystal.
Yeah. Fucking pop some Crystal once we fucking go through 500 records. So
and we should have a guest. We should mention for this, barring any
technical
difficulties. We're hoping we won't encounter those, but we'll have a guest, a friend of ours, friend of the show, Justin Handel. Mm-hmm. Hopefully will be coming on next week's episode.
Justin is a Jack White fan.
Yeah, he's a big time Jack White fan. And just a general music nerd like us. So he's going to fit right in. He's going to have some really interesting things to say, but we have a lot of people on the roster of guests we would like to have.
Yeah.
And Justin made sense for the White Stripes week because there's a White Stripes record on this list for this week. And
it's not going to be every week. Like we're going to pick and choose and we'll figure out when it makes sense to bring somebody in to bring in a different perspective.
Yeah. I mean, we have 40 episodes left, so it's going to be, we have 40 episodes left of this list. and so, there's going to be plenty of time but he will be coming in remote. So that's why we're talking about technical difficulties. He lives in Brooklyn. So anyway, should we get into the 5 episodes for this week?
Let's give him the homework.
So 450 is Paul and Linda McCartney's Ram.
449. What we just talked about, the White Stripes from 2003, Elephant.
448 is Otis Redding, Dictionary of Soul.
God damn. Complete and unbelievable. Can't wait for that. 447 is going to be Bad Bunny, just from last year. In fact, I believe that this album contains a song that we just talked about in our previous bonus episode. The name of the album is X100 Pre.
446, Alice Coltrane, one of John Coltrane's wives. Journey in Sachadonada.
Boy, I'm so glad you had that one and not me.
Yeah.
Sachadonada. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll go Sachadonada.
I think I nailed it.
I think you smashed it. All right. So if you want to play along at home, those are the albums that we're going to be talking about 1 week from today when we jump back into the list that really does suck. And that's the top 500 albums from Rolling Stone of all time. So
Yep. It's been fun doing the bonus episodes, but it's going to be good to get back to the big list too.
Holidays are over.
Yeah.
It's time to get back to
routine. Reinstated.
As always, thanks for listening. Listen, if you want to interact with the show, because don't forget, we have messages.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah.
We have messages, but we're not doing them now.
Yeah, we're not going to do them now, but we finally got, after I implored our listeners on the last main episode to send us some voice messages, we finally got several. So we're going to dish them out.
Yes.
In the next on the next episode.
We're going to load them up for you next week. That way you can hear what everybody has to say.
But if you'd like to add to that, go to anchor.fm/this list sucks. And you can go on there and you can send us a voice message, which we will put on the podcast, regardless of what you say. So, I mean, barring what, obvious things, but don't say anything racist.
Yeah. Listen, we're not here to support your 4chan racist comments. Okay. We're not going to do that.
But do that. Hit us up at thislistsucks@gmail.com.
And on social
media. Please do that with Facebook and Instagram. We would like to get a lot of interaction going. It's way more fun for us when we have people to play along with us. So.
And if you're into the whole streaming thing, we've now finally got the our streaming setup figured out. And so you can also watch us on YouTube. And we're going to live stream all of our shows onto YouTube. So.
Yep. From now on, they should all be on there. So live stream, but you also be able to watch them after the fact.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
If you want to see our faces, I don't know why, but if you do.
And with that being said, looking forward to getting back to the list. Looking forward to talking at you again next week. And Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year. We'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.